All right. All right. Ah. So today I think I'm gonna um I just want to tackle these three small goals for the server. And also I want to explain some of the refactors that I'm doing in the project. Probably most of you are not following the project, so this is just a game server development or emulation done in C as a hobby. Something to learn from. And actually, let me go ahead and link up the repository. I don't know why I always get that branch, the URL, but there's that. Now, lately, the refactorings that I'm doing is something that a few years ago I would say you're crazy. But now it really makes a lot of sense. And the refactor is quite simple. It's trying to reduce the amount of files that I got to the bare minimum. Now, some of you may say, why in the fuck would you want to merge everything into one file? Hey, Bleeman, I don't know, man, something new from the crypto world. You know, you got something new every week. So I was trying to catch up. Seems interesting. It basically, so you got the Terra coin, which is yet another stable coin, and then you got the mirror stuff, which goes hand in hand, right? And the mirror stuff is just to mimic the value of stocks, right? Or at least that's what I learned so far, but I have to keep digging. Now going back to the refactor, what I'm doing is trying to minimize the amount of files that I got in the project, which means we will obviously get bigger files. And you may say, I don't know about that. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, like usually small files are desired, but I don't know about that. So in the server, I got several packets that I have to send, right? Either from the client or from the server. Nonetheless, are very small packets or very small, how should I put it? Small chunks of code. So for instance, we got the message or the packet that allows a player to talk. We got a packet to allow the player to walk, and so on and so forth. And you may say, well, it makes sense to have those packets in separate files, right? Something like, I don't know, chat underscore packet, walk underscore packet. But then again, why would that make sense? Like, I can go ahead and show you the packets or the amount of code that you got in one packet. So let me show you the, I don't know, this one for instance. Look at that. Each of these functions pack the information of a packet into bytes, okay? And then we also got the clients, right? Where we do the opposite. We get the packet in a bytes format, and then we unpack it, right? We put all those bytes, we interpret all of those bytes and put it in a struct. But notice how the functions are relatively small and not that complex. So initially, all of these functions meant one file. And that doesn't make sense to me. At least now. So yes, you will end up with bigger files, but at the same time you end up with less files. And that's kind of cool because it also makes easier for anyone to come here and read up the project, right? So let's say that you are interested in the server packets. Well, you just go to the server packets and that's it. What about the properties? Well, you go to the header file, this one, and that's it. You got all the structs, all the properties that you sent in the packet, right? And it doesn't matter if it's a big file, right? It makes, yeah, it's, excuse me, it makes navigating the code a lot easier. You don't have to jump. So it's something similar to writing very small functions. There is, I think, I don't know how to call it, but there's usually the recommendation that you want to write small functions. And to me, again, that's not ideal. And the reason why is that it's because you have to jump every time you're reading the code, right? So let's say you got a list of tasks. Okay, each action is a function. Well, how do you read that? You have to keep jumping between the functions and then going back to where you were. That makes the whole thing harder. Not only that, it places a question in the developer's mind saying, why is this function extracted? Is this being used anywhere else? And the answer is no, most of the time. So you're adding that burden unnecessarily, right? It's not helping. It seems like it's helping, but it's not. And the same happens with the files, right? So earlier this morning I made a refactor on the login server. So the login server, let me go ahead and quickly open this up, session. Here we go. So the login server has a session, right? Where you store a little bit of information about the user itself, right? In this case, we are using Blowfish to encrypt some of the packets, our RSA to send the modulus, and then we store these two values, right? Plus the socket. Now, initially, Blowfish and RSA were separate files, right? But then, so what happens with that? You may say it's not a big deal. I mean, it's just two files. The logic inside it's not that big, and well, yeah, it's not a big deal. But the thing is, god damn it, I don't know if you can hear the dogs in the background, but the thing is, again, why am I seeing those files being exposed, right? The Blowfish functionality plus the RSA. It makes you think that it's going to be used across the project, and it's not. It's only used in the session. So why is it exposed as if it were used in the whole project? You know what I mean? So instead of doing that, I just merged the whole thing inside of the ls session. And now that logic resides in just one file. Yeah? And the other thing is, it makes the so now there are less functions exposed globally, right? Previously we had this function in the RSA, this one in the Blowfish, and this one on the Blowfish as well. And you gotta and then the developer had to jump between those files, right? So now it makes the whole thing easier. So do I got another example for this? But I think I made my point. And I think I'm gonna merge AI as well into character. So again, okay, this is a perfect example because I haven't done this refactor. So initially, the logic inside of AI was in the JS character file. Now, if you were to read, I mean, if you're interested in the characters logic, you will come to this file, right? But then you will have to jump to this one. Why? Like, this is character functionality as well. Why is it in another file? And not only that, why is it in another file if it's not being used across the entire project? Do you know what I mean? So this logic could be easily inside of this, in here. In fact, it was. But then I thought, well, this file is getting bigger. Maybe I should extract some of the functions out. And now I regret that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We're dealing with the character, we're dealing with the AI of the characters. Why is it splitted, right? And now it creates friction because in the character, it's very likely that you will need some of the functionality or properties from the AI. And the same goes for the AI. In fact, the AI requires some of the functions from the character to be called, right? And now it creates this friction, or it risks being a cyclic dependency, right? So yeah, that's the refactorings that I've been working so far, and I think it makes a lot of sense, you know? I think it makes a lot of sense, especially for the packets. It didn't make sense to have one file for each packet. It doesn't make sense. And also I don't like this file either, but it is what it is, right? So here, right? Why do I have this exposed? Just leave this character and that's it. Alright, I always got the problem with the music. Before. Alright, whatever. So yeah. Now the thing is, okay, but where do you draw the line, right? Because with this reasoning, you couldn't end up with the whole program in one file, right? And I was thinking about this. First of all, that wouldn't be that bad. I know it's not like quote-unquote maintainable, but I think it will be better to have everything in one file. Like, I mean, if you're not sure if you have to create a new file, put everything in one file. Once you see that there is a clear topic, then we can split. But we're basically splitting using categories or topics, or how can I put it, right? But yeah, you can see it, right? Here, simple. What are we dealing with? The character. Good. What are we dealing here? Packets, client packets. Good. Server packets, so on and so forth, right? Hey Jamie, how's it going, man? So yeah, it is what it is. So now that I got that out of the way, I want to make the org spawn in the character's position. Oh, and I have to create the database, if I recall correctly. And readme. Good old readme. Okay. Will that work? Do I get errors? No. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So what happened with the UI? Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is what just happened. Okay. Never mind. The first thing that I want to do is spawn the NPC in the player's position. That's gonna be an easy one, so I'm gonna go to the character. I'm standing, by the way. So what was the function? Spawn org. Wasn't org spawn, perhaps? Nope. Did I? No, there we go. Spawn random org. GS state, yes sir. Okay, so I'm gonna need the... Do I have this in the header? I don't think so. It shouldn't be in the header. Editor. Oh, it is. Why? Okay, yes. See? So the AI requires character. Okay, no problem. And now I'm gonna say struct is, is character, and how can I call this? Spawner, admin, creator, admin, and sure, why not? Or maybe instead of asking for this, maybe I can ask for the position, right? So just point, and I'm gonna say location, sure. Okay, spawn, and I'm gonna say struct is point location. Assertions, man, always good to place your assertions. So where's the location? Here. Okay, so instead of using that, I'm gonna say location X, location Y, and location Z. Lovely. And then I'm gonna have to update this, and I'm gonna say character and give me the position. I think this was the one. And I think that's pretty much it, right? Alright, here goes nothing. Message build. There we go. So now, if I walk, so previously, what the fuck is wrong here? Lovely. So apparently I broke the movement code. That's always nice. Did I broke? What did I did? Not very good music today. What if we try like no? Hell no. What about this? Okay. No. Got a solid base. Okay, there we go. Alright. Hype. Alright. There we go. What? I don't know why the fuck all the next. Alright, let's take a look at the AI. So the movement gets calculated in here. So calling this, and what's Are any of these fucking everything up? I don't think so, but let's see. Yep. Alright, so it's ecstasy's time. Sorry about that. Is that better? I can't even hear the music. What about now? I don't know why this mic. Let me see if I can. Uh, how, how? Sound settings, input. So I can't. Can I change? Seems like no. Let's see. Oh, maybe you mean like lowering this down? So I think that should be better, like something like that. And what is this? Uh, well, I think the mic it's like I can't go further. Oh, well, this is max as well, so let's pause that for a sec. Maybe it's the filtering. I don't know. This one. I don't know why I put this. So what if I remove this bad boy and leave that? Is that better? Can you hear me? I may have to get another set of headsets. But I think that should be better. Like, I don't know if it's like yellow. Um, I don't know. I don't know why I have the impression that if I reach yellow, that's it's gonna be lower quality. You know what I mean? Maybe I can, maybe get a filter to increase the volume. Compressor, expander, gain. Maybe that's gain, limiter, let's get noise suppression, or gain. So what's, well, you may want to lower the volume on Twitch. You've been warned. Okay, did that, did something. You know what? I may have to listen on the, holy shit. Okay. So let's see what we got. I'm checking on the phone. Let's see. Come on. Let's see. We got some technical difficulties. Please stand by. Let's see. Is that better? Is that worse? Come on. Here we go. Sounds good, doesn't it? Let's see. We got some technical difficulties. Please stand by. Let's see. Is that better? That sounds about right to me. And I forgot to check the music. Nice one, dude. Let's see. Alright, let's put on the music. Maybe a bit lower because not I have to scream. Alright, so now the desktop sound. Okay. Yep. Always fighting with the configuration. Alright. So, what were we doing? We're fixing the movement stuff. So for some reason it broke. Alright, well. Let's see. Do I wanna Yes, sorry. Lamentablemente soy de Argentina. Pero bueno, practico el inglés. You know what I mean? So move data. And what do I got in here? What do I got in here? Not sure why this broke. This was working just fine. Destination and show me. I don't know. I just want to see. Sage build. So what do we got? Se hace lo que se puede. So for some reason I'm not getting the print. So what's going on, bruh? Something is not right. Something is not quite right. So this one is not being... Am I using the right build? Is that it? Oh, I am using the right build. Wanna become famous? Famous? No. No thank you, sir. Let's see, what do I wanna do with this one? Burn in hell, timeout, or delete the message. I'm gonna go with burn in hell, please. Thank you. Alright, so is the tick function being called at all? Let's take a look. 42. Let's see. Bill, come on. And it's not. Alright, why? Why would that be? Alright, is this been called? 24. Whoops. Is that one being called? It's not. Why not? Why not? Am I being scammed? Shit. Yep, next. Alright, so on tick. What do you mean? Did I? Alright, and then on tick. Yes, sir. That's been called. Okay. Hello, can you print? Let's see what we got. And okay, so we're getting scammed clearly. There is no way this is not being called. Oh, this will never. Okay, sorry. I gotta stop the server for that one. All right. Okay. Build this. All right, and run it. Okay. So now it's been called. We're getting 22. We're getting hellos. That's all good. So, okay, hello was for the game server, then 22, 24. We don't have 24. Yes, we do. Alright, so this is being executed, which is fine. But why? Today is a bit sketchy, you know? Everything. Hello, 22, 22, 24. Yeah, that's fine, okay. I'm gonna sit. Alright. What's going on here? From here, we're getting 22, which is good. Alright. Then we call this function, and we were getting 24 from here. Yes, sir. Okay. But then the AI was not being called. And I'm not sure why. Maybe the changes weren't reflected? That shouldn't be the case, but Let's double check. Okay. Alright. Nope. So okay, so for whatever reason now it's working. That's how you fix a bug. Alright, moving on. The orc should spawn. So previously the orc spawned in a fixed location, which is around the well. So now if I go here, click the map, and look at that. We got one lovely orc. Nice. So we're making good progress. Good. Let's go ahead and remove the log message. Where did I got that? Moving to. Okay, that's from here. So now if I save that, we shouldn't see the print message. Let's see if that's the case. It seems to be the case. Okay, so that's working. Alright, good. So we got this one done. And I don't know if I want to make these kind of refactors in the stream, because I mean, let's be honest, those are not very interesting refactors, but at the same time I want to document the whole development process. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so what's this feature all about? So I want to make the orc walk to a random location on every, I don't know, 5 seconds or something like that. If it's not doing anything, right? Because if not, it's like a bit still, right? A bit too much still. So, and I think that should be quite easy to implement because we already got the movement packet, as you can see. So I think it should be just a matter of going through all the NPCs, checking if they are in idle state, and if they are, move to a random location close enough to their actual position, and then add some kind of cooldown so we don't constantly move, right? Alright. Okay. So let's see how can we do that. Do I want to make the AR? Nah. I'm gonna leave that for the last. Alright, so we got this tick. We got this tick function, right? And this tick function gets called automatically every 10th of a second, I think, if I recall correctly. So here we can check. Alright, so if the character is AI, if the character is idle, sorry, I think I'm gonna have to make some tea first. You know what? Yeah. Give me just 1 second. Tea in progress. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. What happened with the music though? I may have to search for a playlist before streaming. And at the beginning, I was worried about the um what is it called? The copyright or something like that. But it seems like Twitch just mutes the sound. And I thought, well, um, hopefully if I use their program, that's not gonna happen. And guess what happened? The fucking platform mute some of the sections of the video nonetheless. So I'm not sure what's the benefit of this. I mean, but yeah, shit happens. Alright, so now that I got the tea, fucking hot. Alright. So now how do I wanna handle this? Do I wanna say, well, you know, hmm. Well, let's say AI initiate idle walk or something like that. And then I'm gonna pass the state and the character as well, which is going to be the NPC. And maybe what I well, initiate. So the thing about this is that when we say character, it can be either the player, a playable character, such as R, or it could be an NPC, such as this lovely orc. So I think I want to make that distinction clear. So I'm going to say JS AI NPC. There we go. Initiate idle walk. Okay, and I'm going to say static void. Struct. And then struct JS character. Do I want to say character or do I want to... Well, maybe we can say NPC. And then make sure we got both of these. And I'm gonna say if it's not an NPC, then do nothing, right? And in here, I'm gonna pick a random point. Okay, so this is where math comes into play. And this is where obviously everything goes to shutdown. Because, like many programmers, I'm not very good at math. Hopefully. Alright. Hopefully I left some utility function for it. Well, we can use something like this. Can I? I think. Yeah. Let's go ahead and copy this. Actually, let's go ahead and copy the entire thing. Yeah, Yeah, usually we get that relation. It's like a mutual feeling. So I'm gonna grab this, right? Gonna come here, I'm gonna say like that. This should return a double. So I'm gonna call this angle. Angle. And so I don't have an angle in here. Well, as I said, shit down coming up. Okay. And I wanna say struct this point, random point, and then I'm gonna say random point equals to the current position of the NPC, like so. And I don't know if I'm gonna need the angle, so for now I'm gonna remove that. And just to make sure that this is working as intended, I'm gonna say random point, and I'm gonna multiply this by a very small amount, such as 2. I don't know, man. This is ah. I'm gonna leave the Y and the Z like so, and I'm gonna say NPC and random point. Good, I think. Okay, so now when the first tick comes along, we will call this function. We will initiate the movement state, which means this function will be called and the AI state will be updated. Which means when the tick function gets called again, this won't be the case, and instead this will be called. Alright, pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna go ahead and build this. And whoa, there we go. Okay, well. Hey, yo, bro. Bro. Okay, so it's too fast. I'm not gonna reach. Well, there goes the orc. Bye, orc. Well, it was a pleasure, bro. Okay, so let's add a CD, a cooldown for this one, because if not, I'm gonna, all the orcs, I'm gonna fly too much. So I'm gonna say, where can I place that CD? The JS types, and then do I have a struct for AI? I think I do. Yes, I do. Alright. Maybe I want to call this idle city or random walk. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna also check for if NPC AI idle city is bigger than 0, then we won't do anything. And then in here, we're gonna do the same for the idle CD. Like so. Lovely. Okay. And, alright. Build. And, whoa, something. Huh, interesting. So this error happens when, for some reason, we can't link a session with a character. Which is weird. That should never happen. But okay, I think I'm gonna have to close the client and open that up again. No worries. Games. Nothing illegal in that folder, obviously. Okay, and now let's open this one again. Alright, so let's try that one more time. Let's see what we got. Okay, so now if I spawn the orc again, okay, I think alright, so it stopped. And then, did I included the CD? I think I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. So okay. So in here I'm gonna say NPC AI idle CD, and how much did I use for attacking? 20. Okay, let's use 30. Why not? Alright, so let's build again. Let's see if the same issue happens. No, seems to be fine. Okay, so new arc. It walks to the same position, but okay, let's fix the fucking thingy because something like that. Alright, and let's spawn the orc here. Okay, so it walks. Alright, there we go. So now when we also, although I think it's okay, let's see what happens, because I think when the NPC kills the target, it goes back to idle, so it should walk again. Yeah, there we go. And then stop. Okay, let's work on the okay, so I think I can use I'm gonna say, I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna say NPC position X minus, and then random value here times scene, and the angle will be NPC, and I think the angle is heading, but I'm not sure. And I'm gonna do the same for the Y position, get rid of this. Why am I using scene twice? This is not correct. I always forget which one do I have to use for each coordinate. Okay, so for x, I'm gonna use cosine. All right. There we go. And then the z position is going to be z, just like that. All right. And I think I do have a random generator. Yes. Well, but this is for IDs, and it can't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to build another one, or maybe I can check this one. I think the original one built or gave like sign results. Uh, but for now, let's give it a go with this one. So build, get up, go, spawn. Okay, that's reasonable. And then after 30 seconds? It doesn't seem to be moving though. Okay, what happened? So when we move, we come here, we update the AI to moving, and then what? We update the position. Oh, and then when we reach the location, we don't update the state. Right. Do I wanna hardcode this to? I'm not sure about this, but yeah, let's try that out. Okay. So that one will never do anything, so let's leave that out. This one, it moves, and then it moves again, and then again. Looks nice. Okay. Although, oh, well, I don't know if it should. So that's kind of cool, but what worries me is that I didn't use a random generator. So why like is mm, hmm, why is it like it seems like it's randomized. Is it following a pattern? I think it is, right? Maybe not. No, it's not. No, it's definitely not. Okay. So what I was recalling is that the heading, which I think it's the oh, but it's being updated when you move. Well, I mean, it's so what was I gonna say is that the heading gets updated uh, in two ways. One, when we are confirming when the client wants to know the actual position of the player, and when we are moving. So, but that's for the player. For the NPCs, the only time we update the heading is when we move, right? Because the NPCs don't have they don't ask the server for its position, right? It's not needed. Okay, maybe we can increase the cooldown instead of 30 because it's I don't know, like 120. I think that will be better. Let's see. So now it's and maybe we can increase the distance as well. Although, well, yeah, that seems like more reasonable. Is it? Or is it too much? Perhaps? No, it seems to be fun. The other thing is that if we spawn multiple orcs, they will move at the same time. Will they? Yeah, see, it's so what we gotta do in order to avoid that, because that looks very unnatural. So what we can do, and this is a very simple trick, we can just go to the where was the function? Here. What we can do is, alright, check for the city, and then if all of that passes, and you know what? Maybe we can increase this to 60. So we can do a percentage check. We'll say the NPC has a 33% chance of moving. And how can we do that? Well, that's very simple. So you need a random number, and you need to check if that's, well, in this case we want the opposite case. I'm gonna say if that's something like that, right? So if we got 100%, well, that's, is it? Shit, I don't, it's been a long time since I code things like this, but I definitely need a random number. And I don't want to use, you know, I can just, I don't think I'm using this anywhere in the code. Am I? No, I'm not. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this for a second. And what do we got here? Maybe we can use rand for the time being, right? Instead of dealing with this. All right. But what I don't recall is how do I get a random number between, so rand between rand range. Let's see. Let's see. I do need to put this though. Well, all right. Thank you, good sir. Don't mind if I grab this. And do I wanna put this? Nah, not really. Alright, so JS AI random number. Whoops. And I'm gonna say I don't recall this returns an integer. And ran comes from the standard, right? So std_lib, there we go. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna ask for a E32, which is going to be A, and E32, which is going to be B, and then B, A, A. So, and then we come here, and here I'm gonna say 1 to 100. And then if that's not the case, then try again. And maybe should, yeah. So let's do that. All right. Build it, and what do we got? Now it should feel a bit more natural. Okay, one moved. All right. Okay, there we go. So now it's way more natural. Lovely. Very nice. All right. And what if I what if I attack this one? There we go. I want to make sure that nothing funny happens when it's dead. All right, it's dead. Maybe I could search for a function that makes the NPC walk in circles. So we don't have that case where the NPC it's trying to get into the house or walls. But I don't know, I think this is fine for now. Let's go ahead and comment this. What is this? No, I don't know why VS Code does this. Doesn't make sense. Yes, delete. Okay, what do we got here? Yep. All right. Looks good. Although I may want to add a comment about. So for NPCs, the heading is only set when moving. For some reason, it works quite well for um, calculating a random position. It may be a good idea to double check why that's the case. There you go. Alright, what have we got in... Okay. Yes, this is spawning the arc in the position that we specified. That's all no good. What about this? This is only formatting. Yep, that's fine. And we're specifying the point. That's good. And what about here? Do I want to call this idle city? Maybe idle walk city? I guess that's fine for now. So, spawn random orc in given position and add random walk when NPC is in idle. I don't know why I always write idle with double T. Random walk when NPC is in idle state. Very good. Alright, so how are we looking so far? An hour and 20 minutes. Alright. So we get the idle, and I don't know if I want to do the refactor now. Like, do we have anything more interesting to implement? Let's think for a sec. What will like, do you guys have any suggestions? I was thinking about, okay, so when it comes to the server, I don't know if it makes sense to keep it retail-like, right? And what I mean by that is making the server as similar to the official as possible. I don't know if that makes sense, because if that's the case, we already got the L2J project, right? So I was thinking, what if we implement some of the features that we can find in games such as Diablo 2? And then I thought, oh, the chat and the shortcut actions, yeah. Funny thing is, I did have the chat or the messages working, but I did a big ass refactor and forgot to implement that again. So, but yeah, that could be one. So, chat slash messages. Thank you, Blayman. Thank you. Now, what I was saying is, what if we implement things like skill points as we find in Diablo 2, where I can go and edit my stats, right? So if I level up, I can, I don't know, update 5 points in the basic stats, right? That could be interesting. And then we can implement a skill tree as well. I don't know about you guys, but that seems like an interesting server to mess around at least, right? Got all the orcs in the church trying to get access to the church. Got some religious orcs right here. And then so let's add that as a possible option. Implement skill points. Modify basic stats in question mark, and then implement skill trees question mark, and then I was also thinking about PvP. So what's interesting about the game? I think one of the most fun features about the game is the freedom that you get, right? You can do, like, you don't have hardcode rules. I mean, obviously you got the very basics, right? But besides that, you can do whatever you want, right? So what if we try to play a bit with PvP? So what if we allow to kill or to attack anyone at any place? And I know you can do that in LTJ, but now let's think about the consequences, right? In the official Lineage 2, I think you can't, like, I don't recall, but you lose some of the functionalities or the, not the functionalities, the, like, you can teleport, you can use the gatekeeper, and that's fine. But what else can we implement, right? Because that's kind of like the very basics. Maybe we can do something like, if you kill a character but no one sees you, maybe you don't get karma. You know what I mean? Maybe if you kill someone and you get caught by a guard, you get karma, but if you kill the guard, like, nobody knows that you killed that character. You know what I mean? And maybe we can play with some of those scenarios. You know what I mean? I think that would be interesting. But yeah. And I don't know. Also, I don't know how well this server runs in a quote-unquote production state. So maybe I could try to upload this to a BPS and give you guys access to it. and see what happens. Probably it's gonna be exploited as fuck, but hey, I think it may be interesting. But I don't know, like right now, like you can do a lot of things, so I don't know how fun that would be. But it's something that I was thinking about as well. Yeah, maybe I can write this down because then I don't have any fucking idea what to do, and uh, now I'm getting inspired. So, karma system. Nobody sees you. You don't get karma. And then upload. And since this isn't final, I'm gonna add a question mark. And then upload and test server in prod environment. And yeah. And so I was also thinking about so what's the main issue that Chronicle 4 servers have? Bots, right? Everyone pretends that um, that they are, well, I don't know if everyone pretends, but a few months ago I was playing on a server that looked promising. And then when I go to a catacomb, I try to kill a character, right? I saw a dwarf, and I try to kill it, right? Like every normal, healthy person would do, right? You see, you spot a character, you want to try to kill it, right? I hit it, and the fucking character logs out. It was a fucking bot. It was a fucking bot. And the thing is, previously, with bots, at least you were able to kill those. Now, you don't even get to that. Because the fucking bots log the character out. Even if they are being hit by monsters, they can log out. Um, so that's fucking disgusting, right? I mean, if you are using a bot, at least let me hit you, right? But this degenerates the the bots that they were using just log the character out, no matter what. Disgusting. Fucking disgusting. So I'm a bit concerned about those type of vulnerabilities. I don't know if it's gonna happen in my server, and I can kind of guess how they managed to do that, right? In the original L2J source code, they handle, and this is guessing, I didn't inspect this well, but in the original fucking L2J project, they handle the packets in a way that doesn't seem to check for the state of the character. Like, I think, and again, I'm guessing, I'm gonna have to double check again, but it seems like you can send packets that are not supposed to be are not supposed to be sendable in your current state. And what do I mean by that? Let's assume that I'm not logged into the world. I shouldn't be able to send a packet of a character moving, right? Well, the thing is, the way the L2J project seems to allow those kind of things. But again, I may be wrong. This is guessing, right? So I think, and now why am I saying it shouldn't happen on my server? If you go to the code, we go to the request, where is it? Here. So every time we get a new request in here, I don't know if it was called shit, how was the name of the server? No, I'm not gonna be able to remember. How was the fucking... But it was an Argentinian one, right? So you can't expect much. Yeah. I don't know, but like, I think the Chronicle 4, it's... I don't know if it's being played outside of Latin America. But yeah, it was a relatively good server for the standards in Argentina, which means it was crap, right? But yeah, going back to the code, when we get a new request, meaning we got some action, I don't know, the player wants to move, player wants to talk, any of that. Before handling the packet or the request, we check for the state of this session, right? So we're saying, okay, so if you send me, I don't know, if you want to try to log into the game, right? You have selected the character, you're in the lobby, right? Let's say, go back. So let's say you're in this screen, right? And you want to log into the game, I'm gonna first check for the current state of your session, right? So I'm gonna say if you're really in the lobby, then and only then I'm gonna handle the packet. If you send me any other type of packet, like I don't know, character talking or something like that, and the state that I got in the server is that you're in the lobby, I'm gonna ignore the packet because I know your state or the request is invalid. So basically what I'm using here is a state machine. And for those of you who don't know what a state machine is, it's very simple. You get a state A, and then from A you jump to state B. And that's it. And then on each state, you can check I'm sorry, you don't have to check for certain conditions, right? Because if you are in state A, you can assume that the state of your program is correct, right? You don't have to check, am I in state B, or can I do things that how can I say it? You know what I mean. So if I'm here, I only accept valid packets, right? On each state, I only accept valid packets or requests. The rest get ignored, right? what happened with the orcs? Did they manage to get in the charge? Well, let's check. Do we got any orcs? Nope. Alright. So, having said that, in this server, in my server, let's assume we got the same thing. We got some degenerate using a bot. They shouldn't be able to send the disconnect request because I'll know that's not a valid packet. It's not a packet that I will accept in your current state. If you're being hit, I'm gonna ignore that packet. So at least I should be able to kill the bastard, and then they will locked out. But at least I'm gonna get the satisfaction of killing that piece of shit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. But besides that, I was also thinking about bots in general, right? And then I didn't wrote, I read a few articles about how to deal with bots in games in general, right? And it in improving the AI of the monsters. Um, Maybe that's something that I can work on as well. So, and to give you a very basic example, let's assume that we got a monster that has some stun ability, and we got a party. Maybe the monster will try to stun the healers and then target the DPS or something like that, right? Pathfinding, yeah, yo, see, yeah, that's gonna be a. Well, we also got the geo data, right? Because otherwise, we're gonna be fucked by archers and mages. Although we can block those out and say, you know what, bruv, it's melee time. And maybe we can. So maybe we can also limit the the well, I don't know. I was thinking like, what if we only allow humans to be created? Um, but to be honest, there isn't a lot of difference between other characters besides the skills. And the reason why I was thinking about that is to get the scope in a more manageable size, right? But yeah, maybe we can focus towards this goal. Upload and test the server in a production environment. Build just the right amount of features to make that fun, right? And to be honest, I'm quite curious about the performance and how it will behave. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it exploded on the first um, 10 characters or something like that. I mean, it shouldn't be the case, but I haven't tested, so we never know. And also, maybe we can limit the server to be talking talking Island only. I think this is the um, to me, Talking Island is the best town. Look at all the possibilities, right? Maybe we can hide some bosses in the forest, something like that. That would be kind of interesting. Add a few NPCs, allow them to give us a quest of searching this boss, and then we will find out that the boss fucking um, destroys you, and you're forced to go in a party. And what if we can also involve some NPCs, right? Something like, I don't know, grab a bunch of guards and make them help you, help the party as well. That will be kind of interesting. Like here, what if we got like a tribe fucking like, I don't know, eating, or I don't know, I was gonna say eating some human, but maybe that's a bit too hardcore. But you know what I mean, right? Something more interesting than just having a bunch of random fucking NPCs, monster monsters spawn across the map, right? Something like what. So I'm not a big gamer guy, right? But then I play a little bit of Skyrim, and I was blown away by the amount of interaction that you can have with the world, right? Because in, like, for instance, on Lineage 2, you can't go into the houses, right? Or only just a few. And then you can kill a few monsters, you can talk, and that's pretty much it, right? But on Skyrim, you can do whatever you want, right? You can collect fucking plants, you can, I don't know, move um, all sorts of objects, you can enter into the houses, you can try to rob them, and they will react to that, right? In here, everything is a bit more dull. Um, so yeah, that's one of the characteristics that blow me away from Skyrim, you know? The amount of detail about those, about the world, about the entire world, right? Everything had a consequence, or yeah, yeah, the reactions. That was very cool. Maybe we can do something like that as well in here. Maybe get a bunch of guards that go rogue, monsters that try to invade the town. That could be cool. I don't know where the fuck am I going. What if I spawn one orc here? Do you know what I mean? That will be kind of interesting. You know what? Let's do something like that. I'm gonna say quests slash bosses. Is that, yeah? And then wars, or in groups to complete, or something like that, right? And then something to make the server, the test server, a bit fun at least, right? Not having just the very basics and that's it. Maybe have some small stories in here, or reasons why NPCs or monsters are in here. That's the other thing about Skyrim. Like, everything had a reason, or it was logical of why things happened, right? Or why the yeah, why the fucking things happen, right? In here, again, it was a bit more dull. It's like, just grab a bunch of monsters and that's it, bro. Go ahead and farm those, right? It lacked the background history of that. Yep, look at that. Look at this. Beautiful. Imagine all the things that we can do here in places like here, right? Pretty cool. But yeah, I think yeah, I'm talking a bit too much, I think, but I'm gonna take a break for now, a small break to think about maybe a bit more about this, and also give you guys time to, I don't know, propose some of this. I'm gonna also give you the Discord server if you would like to join and send me your proposals and get information about the test server. Thank you, Bleeman. You're very supportive, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, let's see what we can implement, and let's see what we can bring to the first initial test. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks at the very beginning, but hey, at least it's gonna be fun, I think. Alright guys, I don't know if I'm gonna come back later, but if I do, I'll let you know. In the meantime, as always, take good care. Take a look at the project if you like it. I'm gonna leave you the link as well. Although I think I already did, but let's see. No, not this one. This one. There we go. If you would like to contribute or maybe download, um, you can download the release. If I recall, yes, you can download the release. It's very easy to set up. You just need to basically run the game server, login server, and that's it. Although I'm gonna have to update it because it won't. The server that the release that I uploaded doesn't have the, well, these latest changes about the orcs walking, so maybe I'm gonna have to work on that, upload that, but you will get the basics. Alright guys, take a good care. Oh nice, 2 hours. Alright guys, bye.